Coming up in this fully explained video with Air Traffic Control Explained 2, you're joining me on a Delta 737 from West Palm Beach, where we take a delay due to fuel staffing issues, neglect to be identified on radar, but fly an ideal approach to runway 22 at LaGuardia. On a side note, this was filmed in first class, but who cares when all the right side passengers have a first class view? Let's go. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am super excited because I've got a ticket to LaGuardia Airport and you're coming along with me. Let's go. That's right. I've got a smile on my face since LaGuardia is on my mind. So let's head over to the Palm Beach International Airport to make it happen. Okay, I just cleared TSA here at the PBI Airport and my aircraft is inbound today from Boston Logan. Okay, we're in the terminal here at PBI. Today's call sign will be Delta 2788. It's a Boeing 737-800 today. I'm very excited about that. Larger windows on the Boeing. I don't really like it when I'm on an Airbus A320 or A321 or 319. That's an A321 at gate Charlie 1, and the smaller Airbus windows means less surface area for optimal viewing. Here comes the 737. It's hard to see from here, but the windows are big, and for now, I'm taking advantage of views from a different kind of window. I just love these wide open windows here at PBI. Really nice place to be. All right, it is noisy in this terminal today. There are a lot of people just trying to get out of PBI. Now, a little bit about my seat selection today. Today, I am using an upgrade certificate, which gets me into the first class cabin. Honestly, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be a platinum medallion on Delta for, so I'm taking advantage of an upgrade that's given to me for free. I paid for a main cabin seat, but I'm sitting in a first class seat today. So let's see how that goes. I was only able to get a seat on the right-hand side of the aircraft. I usually pick a seat based upon the wind direction, which favors particular runways at LaGuardia. Today, it's just going to be on the right-hand side. Now, as of now, the wind favors runway 4, which means the Manhattan view is going to be on the left-hand side. If Manhattan is on the left-hand side of the airplane, I'm going to make the most out of what I see on the right-hand side. It could change, you don't know. It's really noisy and crowded in this terminal today. And here comes the 737 I'll be taking up to LaGuardia today. It's inbound from Boston Logan. It's landing just as the sun is about to set. Well, it's starting to get a little bit darker here. It's been a while since I brought you a night flight to LaGuardia. Before we move forward, let's hear a message from today's video sponsor. I had spent a great day at the beach, and as the sun set, I drove away, but I realized that I had left my wallet behind. While this is unsettling, I was confident because I have an extra wallet with a tracker, so I used my phone to locate the wallet. My tracker says that it's right here on the beach. Using the Find My app on my phone, I'm walking in the exact direction I need to go to find my cool wallet, which is compact, has space for plenty of cards, and blocks RFID to prevent wireless theft. And with the tracker that I added to it, I know it'll never get lost. I found my extra wallet. I'm so happy I found my wallet. You know, it can be quite intimidating when you're at the beach trying to find something, but with my extra wallet and tracker, it made everything so easy. Now, if you're interested in an extra product, like a wallet or a tracker, there's a link in the description below. Click on the link and enter code MASELLA for savings. That's MASELLA. Okay, that's our Boeing 737 out there. It's an older one. This aircraft had its first flight in 1998, so it's been around in the Delta fleet for quite some time. I'm looking forward to it. My seat is actually going to be right over there where that truck is today. The plane looks really nice from this side, but from the other side, not so much. These 737-800s are aging and it shows, but I'm not here for a fancy plane. I'm here for a window seat. That's what makes me happy. Okay, we're getting ready to board this flight to LaGuardia. Since I'm in Zone 1 today, I'm at the head of the line so I can maximize my time on board. These are some wonderful moments in life, knowing that you have the privilege to fly. The door to gate Charlie 4 is calling my name. All right, it's happening again. We're flying to LGA. Let's go. Okay, we're on board the 737-800. The first step, of course, is open the window. I'm gonna open up that one too. Okay, we're all set to head to LGA. Can't wait. Here's the view out my window. I'm in row 4 because the windows are best aligned with the seat. And as for the IFE, I just click English, then Flight Tracker, and view the map. Nothing else. All right, well, as for our departure, it looks like it's going to be a pretty standard departure off of PBI, taking off of runway 10 left, climbing out towards the ocean. Then we'll head up north. I can't wait to do what that 737 is doing, but the flight attendant just distracted me from the view. Time for a quick PDV. Enough of that drink. There's a view out here. To me, this is more exciting. From watching the bags being loaded to spotting the airport rotating beacon, which is on since it's getting dark out. The white and green lights indicate that we're at a civilian land airport. It helps pilots identify the airport and what kind of airport it is at night.
Let's go.
Not so fast. There's a delay. Listen to this.
We're hoping to push back on time, but there is only one fueler working in the airport tonight to try to fuel 5 separate aircraft. So we are waiting on gas. Once we get the gas, we'll close up the doors. We'll get on out here towards New York. Once we do get airborne, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Well, here comes the gas. What time is it?
4 minutes to departure. They're just starting to fuel now.
This surely will not be an on-time departure, and I'm not fully sure why there was only one fueler available. This was something that surprised me, and there was no indication that we'd have to wait for fuel while waiting to board or during the boarding process. In all, we were delayed about 15 minutes because of this.
Okay, fueling is now complete.
I'm glad that extra time is built into the schedule so we don't land behind schedule.
Okay, the boarding door is now closed. Let's go.
Welcome aboard. My name is Riley and I'll be your flight attendant today's flight, assisted by all of the wonderful New York City-based flight attendants.
Let's check in with the controller as we get ready to push back.
Hello, ground. First call, Delta 2788, pushing off with Charlie 4 for LaGuardia.
Delta 2788, Palm Beach ground. Appreciate it, sir. Advise, ready.
Okay.
As mentioned by our pilot, we're pushing off of gate Charlie 4 and we're bound for LaGuardia. I'm always learning something new each time I fly, and I didn't realize that initial contact with FAA's air traffic control is made at pushback rather than from the time that the aircraft is ready to taxi at the edge of the ramp. At an airport like LaGuardia, pilots don't contact air traffic control until they're ready to taxi, as it's the ramp controller who handles the ramp, but this is a rather quiet airport. Here's a United flight heading up to Newark making contact with the FAA controller before pushing back.
Gun United 2300, just give you a heads up, we're going to be pushing Bravo 4 here shortly.
United 2300, Palm Beach ground. Copy, officer. Push your discretion. Advise, ready. Just use caution. You got a Delta 737 behind you.
At discretion, and we'll advise taxi, copy the Delta United 2300.
And here's a JetBlue plane heading up to JFK, also checking in prior to pushback.
Palm Beach ground, JetBlue 1154, gate Charlie 10, we're pushing back to the business now.
JetBlue 154, Palm Beach ground. Copy, officer. Advise, ready.
Without discretion, and we'll advise JetBlue.
The New York area is a popular destination for everyone tonight. As we push back, the flight attendants are doing their safety briefings, and for that, they'll keep the cabin lights on, making it hard to see out the window at night.
I can't wait for the lights to go out.
I'll encounter the same scenario as we approach New York City. The flight attendants will walk through the cabin to collect garbage and will make sure that everyone is seated and properly configured for landing. During that time, the lights will come on bright inside the cabin again, and it will be hard to see out. This is my least favorite aspect of night flights, but I know it's very important. Oh, and even though the safety demo is on the screen, flight attendants still need to do a cabin walkthrough to ensure that everyone is configured for takeoff. We've come to a stop and are ready to call ground control for taxi instructions to the active departure runway, runway 10 left.
Ground Delta 2788, ready to taxi.
Delta 2788, runway 10 left. Taxi Charlie 8 Charlie, cross runway 14.
I'm sorry, we got Alpha and exit runway 10 left, you have Charlie 8 Charlie, cross 14 Delta.
We're told to take taxiways Charlie 8 and Charlie, and along the way we can cross runway 14. Charlie 8 is a taxiway that leads out of the ramp to taxiway Charlie, which parallels the length of runway 10 left. We'll just take Charlie to the end, turn left, and take off when given clearance to do so. We're also told to cross runway 14, which crosses taxiway Charlie along the way. Runway 1432 is an intersecting runway, and once we take off, we'll cross it again in the opposite direction. I'm not sure what's going on there with all those lights, but it's on the ramp, and we're clearing the ramp area and headed out to the quiet taxiway system. We received taxi clearance to the very end, so traffic is very light. Runway 10 left will be the departure runway because it's favorable for a headwind. It's also the arrival runway this evening. The taxi procedure has become engraved in my brain. I've never taken off on a runway other than 10 left here at Palm Beach, and I fly out of this airport a lot, so I pretty much know what's going to happen. What I don't know about is what's going to happen at LaGuardia, an airport in much more complex airspace. I mentioned that runway 4 could be the landing runway, but the winds are light and could possibly favor runway 22 as the landing runway, with runway 13 as the departure runway by the time I get there. This would make my seat on the right side of the plane worthwhile if we get good radar vectors. And by good, I mean northbound up the Hudson on the right downwind leg. We'll see what happens. For now, the focus is the departure. The ground controller hands us off to the local controller for the runways, and we wait. What are we waiting for?
Get some traffic on final, and then we'll go.
Since there's a plane about to land, we cannot enter the runway until that plane touches down. It's at that point that the controller will have us line up and wait. That plane is a corporate aircraft. There are a lot of corporate planes in and out of this airport. That corporate plane is touching down right now, so the tower controller is ready to have us enter the runway by telling us to line up and wait.
Delta 2788 Palm Beach Tower, runway 10 left, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, 10 left, Delta 2788.
We can now move forward. All we need to do now is wait for that corporate plane to slow down enough so that it can exit the runway, and once clear of the runway, we can be issued takeoff clearance. She's about to ask the pilot where he'll be parking.
November 3 Tango X-ray, stay parking.
Go to signature, I've had signature.
Roger, you should roll down to Kilo without delay. Please right turn at Kilo into signature.
Roll down to Kilo to signature with you, I've had signature.
Since that aircraft is going to the signature FBO, the controller has him continue down the runway to taxiway Kilo. This will lead to his parking position at signature, but since the plane slowed down considerably before reaching taxiway Kilo, she wants him to roll all the way down to Kilo without any delay. Her plan is to get 2 departures out once this plane vacates, us and JetBlue 1154, which is the same flight we heard earlier getting ready to push back. You recall that plane is headed to JFK, so the airport is about to handle 2 departures to the New York City borough of Queens. For us, we're on the runway with our lights on, and we're just waiting for takeoff clearance once the controller sees that the corporate jet is clear of the runway and on its way to the FBO.
Delta 2788, runway 10 left, clear for takeoff.
10 left, clear for takeoff, Delta 2788.
JetBlue 1154 Palm Beach Tower, runway 10 left, line up and wait.
10 left, line up and wait, JetBlue 1154.
Now that we're airborne, we'll be followed by air traffic control via radar, and the tower will hand us off to the departure controller in a radar room. However, there's an issue. The tower doesn't see us on radar, although she does see us out the window. She wants us to verify that our transponder is on. The transponder allows for us to be identified on radar, and it turns out our pilot forgot to turn it on.
Delta 2788, just verify the transponder on, squawking 1352.
Oops, I forgot to switch it on. All right. 1352 for Delta 2788.
The pilot's turning it on now, and she sees us on radar now, so she can now hand us off to the departure controller.
Delta 2788, thanks, we got it now. You can switch over to departure 283. Have a good flight.
Sorry about that. 283, we'll see you next time. Delta 2788.
See ya.
We're already over the ocean, so let's check in with Palm Beach departure.
Hello. Departure Delta 2788, 2.6, climbing 12,000.
Delta 2788, Palm Beach departure. Good evening. Radar contact.
On this frequency, we can hear flights in the Palm Beach area, not necessarily going to or from PBI like this one.
90 Whiskey, radar contact 2 south of Lantana, altimeter 3002.
002, 1290 Whiskey.
As for us, we checked in with the controller, and she only told us radar contact. With no instructions, all we have to do is follow the published departure procedure, which calls for a left turn to the northeast, which is the general direction that we need to travel in. This is called the slides departure procedure and is commonly used for flights heading north, especially to the northeastern cities. The only thing I don't like about sitting on the right side of the plane is that there isn't too much to see while heading north. The left side affords great views of the Florida coast, but I'm hopeful that we'll land on runway 22 with right traffic today. I'm also hopeful that we'll see the Bahamas from this side of the plane. Now, that JetBlue flight to JFK has taken off behind us and is about to check in with our controller.
Palm Beach departure, JetBlue 1154, 1300 for 12,000 on the slides to departure.
JetBlue 1154, Palm Beach departure, radar contact.
Even though this is a domestic flight, I can see the islands of the Bahamas out there. Nice.
handoff to Miami Center.
Delta 2788, contact Miami Center, 132.15. Good night.
13215, Delta 2788. Have a good evening. We'll see you.
We're approaching our cruising altitude and will be handed off to various air route traffic control centers throughout the flight. But I'm thinking ahead to what's going to happen in the last 10 minutes of this flight up the East Coast.
Okay, I've got some really good news, and I was not expecting this, probably because I just didn't do a great job of my research today, but the wind is now favoring runway 22 and right traffic.
But in the meantime, I'm plane spotting up here. That flashing light is a Spirit A321 headed from Fort Lauderdale to LaGuardia. I guess the controllers will have to work on separation between us. As we continued on, I encountered a problem. The flight attendants turned some cabin lights on.
They've got the lights on in the main cabin back there, and it's making it hard to see out the window. And a Velo 737 from New Haven to Orlando just flew by, but I couldn't see it. There's too much reflection.
And to distract me further from the window view, the lead flight attendant served me dinner in my first-class seat. I ate quickly because I knew there was an American 737 from DCA to Miami about to fly by in the opposite direction. That's it, the flashing light. And down there is a Delta 737 from LaGuardia to Miami.
Okay, they finally shut the lights off back there. All right, the lights are off. However, it's cloudy out there, so I still can't see the opposite direction traffic.
I guess we'll look at this for a bit. Our location is showing a barely noticeable difference than what I've seen in the past.
We're just slightly east of where we would normally be because of some weather.
And now it's time for a formal announcement from the lavatory.
We're going to land on 22. We're on the Proud.
The Proud is the arrival procedure that brings all flights from the south towards New York City, as you can see here. The hope is that we fly northbound up the Hudson so we can see Manhattan on the right side. We definitely will be west of LaGuardia, but I want it a certain way. Follow my finger to see what I'm hoping for very soon. We're in our descent, and it's time to check in with New York Approach Control.
Hello, New York Approach, Delta 2788, at 10.8, descending 10,000, and we have Victor.
Delta 2788, New York Approach, LaGuardia altimeter 3021.
21.
Since it was cloudy on the Proud, I'll just provide pertinent ATC until we get to New York City, where I'll provide everything. The next transmission is a warning to all pilots about a laser in Brooklyn.
Attention all aircraft, an unauthorized laser illumination report was made around 5 miles north of the Apple intersection by previous arrival of 4,000 feet.
We were then told to descend to 7,000 feet, putting us 1,000 feet higher than Newark departures to the south.
Delta 2788, descend and maintain 7,000.
7,000, Delta 2788.
Reverse descent, reverse the precision.
This is the 10,000 feet announcement. Can't see now.
Fortunately, after that, the lights went out, and we were told to descend to 4,000 feet.
Delta 2788, descend and maintain 4,000.
4,000, Delta 2788.
Now, for the remainder of this approach, we'll pick up where we have Coney Island in sight. The controller will give us a 10-degree heading, which will fortunately put us up the Hudson. And once we get to the downtown area, we'll be told to turn right to 40 degrees, bringing us really close to Midtown and Times Square. We'll then see Central Park with LaGuardia Airport in the distance. Then the controller will have us descend to 3,000 feet, then slow to 180 knots. Then it's around the Bronx and Lower Westchester for the remainder of the flight. The controller will turn us 10 degrees to the right to 50 degrees. A right base leg will be made at the command of a 120-degree heading and a descent to 2,000 feet. This occurs in Yonkers. Then we'll be told to follow a regional jet to runway 22. Listen to the controller, who's handling flights to LaGuardia, Westchester, and from Newark.
Delta 2788, turn left heading 010.
Left 010, Delta 2788.
Spirit 2020, descend and maintain 4,000.
Descend and maintain 4,000, Spirit 2020.
United 1968, descend and maintain 7,000.
7,000, United 1968.
American 2012, descend and maintain 4,000.
4,000, American 2012.
Delta 2521, advise the field.
Field inside 2521.
Delta 2521, cleared visual approach, runway 22.
Visual 22, Delta 2521.
Jibble 1294, cross Kodak at 3,000, cleared RNAV Yankee, runway 16 approach. Brickyard 4333, proceed direct Lana. Frontier 3314, altimeter 3021. Delta 2521, contact LaGuardia Tower, 118.7, good night.
2521, yeah.
Endeavor 4916, fighting 050, descend and maintain 3,000.
050, down to 3,000,
Brickyard 4333, contact departure, 120.85.
Good day. Endeavor 4933, fighting 130, descend and maintain 9,000.
Heading 130, 9,000, air 4933.
Delta 2788, turn right, heading 040.
040, Delta 2788.
Spirit 2020, fighting 030.
Heading 030, swing 2020.
Delta 2404, near crest, altimeter 3021. Roger. Endeavor 4916, turn right, heading 130, descend and maintain 2000.
130, 2000, 49.
Swiss 19 Charlie Heavy, near departure, climb and maintain 10,000, altimeter 3021. Delta 2404, reduce speed to 250. Delta 2788, descend and maintain 3,000, then reduce speed to 180.
3,000 and slow to 180, Delta 2788.
American 2012, fighting 030.
030, American 2012.
JetBlue 1294, contact Westchester Tower, 118.57, good night. Frontier 3314, descend and maintain 8,000. Endeavor 4916, advise the field.
Airport Endeavor 4916.
Endeavor 4916, cleared visual approach, runway 22.
Cleared visual 22, Endeavor 49.
Delta 2008, I believe you're on the wrong frequency. Go back to your last assign. See ya. Endeavor 4933, turn left, heading 100.
Left turn 100,
Delta 2788, fighting 050.
050, Delta 2788.
Swiss 19 Charlie Heavy, proceed direct merit. Endeavor 4916, contact LaGuardia Tower, 118.7, good night.
Good night, sir. Endeavor 4916.
Spirit 2020, descend and maintain 3,000.
Houston, I went there 3,000, swing 2020.
United 1968, descend and maintain 4,000.
4,000, United 1968.
Delta 2404, descend and maintain 8,000. Swiss 19 Charlie Heavy, contact departure 120.85. Good night. Spirit 686, near approach, altimeter 3021. Delta 2788, turn right, heading 120, descend and maintain 2,000.
Right turn heading 120 down to 2,000, Delta 2788.
United 1968, turn left, heading 030.
Left turn 030, United 1968.
Endeavor 4933, turn left, heading 060.
Left turn 060, and air 4933.
Frontier 3314, descend and maintain 4,000. Spirit Wings 2020, reduce speed to 180, fly heading 050.
180, heading 050, swing 2020.
Delta 2788, on a regional jet, 2 o'clock, 4 miles at 1,500.
Inside Delta 2788.
Delta 2788, follow the RJ, cleared visual approach, runway 22.
Behind the RJ, clear visual 22, Delta 2788.
Delta 2788, contact LaGuardia Tower, 118.7, good night.
118.7, Delta 2788, bye.
Did you catch all that? What great work from the approach controller. While the pilot has the RJ in sight, I can see the airport, and all we need to do is continue to the right toward the airport. It's time to check in with the tower, but take note that the tower does not respond to our pilot.
Hello, Tower Delta 2788, visual 22.
Triple 573 said you cleared in, Alpha to the ramp.
So there's no response from the controller. However, when we're around 3 miles out, the pilot will ask for landing clearance. Traffic is really light, and the only thing you hear is traffic landing and planes on the ground, but there are no departing flights at this hour. I'll let you listen in to the sights and sounds of ATC and landing, and I'll check back in with you when we're on the ground. I also have a very special treat at the very end of this video for you.
Give it a Delta here and loop around Echo Alpha. Corner 16 left turn, Bravo Echo Alpha, good night.
Bravo Alpha, good night. David 49.
That one.
We clear to land for Delta 2788.
2788, affirmative, clear to land.
Thank you, sir.
Delta Supertalk, join Echo, hold short of 22.
Tower, Spain 2020, ILS 22.
Number 2 clear land.
Spain 2020, clear to land. Runway 22.
Welcome to New York, where the local time is 10.
Supertalk at Echo, cross 22, and then just give us the Delta RJ there.
Most securely fasten and carry an item. Stow until the captain has shut off the sealway sign.
2788 left turn, Bravo Echo Alpha.
Bravo Echo Alpha, Delta 2788.
Welcome to LaGuardia. The controller told us to turn left and take taxiways Bravo, Echo, and Alpha to the ramp. There was no need to hand us off to a separate ground controller since traffic is very light. So the same person who gave us landing clearance is providing the route to take to terminate this flight. Let's head over to Terminal C.
Where Terminal D used to be. What a great approach to runway 22 tonight.
I forgot I was in first class. The view is what was first class for this flight. I'm all smiles and satisfied as I enter the 80s concourse in the newly rebuilt Terminal C. What a great space. All right, what a great approach that was. You know, sometimes I get concerned when we actually don't fly up the Hudson River to runway 22, but it was just beautiful. I loved it. I'm so happy we didn't land on runway 4. Well, I need to leave the terminal, but I just can't end the video here. Tomorrow, I'm going to head on over to the final approach course to see the runway 22 arrivals up close, and I'll be doing it during the day so we can get a good perspective. Let's fast forward to tomorrow. Okay, everybody, it's the next day, and I've decided to come to LaGuardia Airport by boat. LaGuardia is landing on runway 22, and right behind me, you can see an aircraft landing on runway 22. Very, very final approach there with Manhattan. That aircraft came up the Hudson River, made a right-hand turn around the Bronx, just like we did last night, and landed on runway 22. What a great place. I just want to put everything into perspective by coming out here. That plane is about to leave the Bronx, fly over the East River where I'm now, enter Queens, and fly over the approach lights, then touch down at the beginning of the runway 22 pier, which hosts the first few thousand feet of 7,000 feet total. By this point, runway 13 departures should be clear of the intersection of the two runways to make way for landing traffic. There are a lot of departures now since this was filmed in the afternoon. And as for the view of the skyscrapers of Manhattan that we see in the distance from here, it's really not very visible from the right side of the plane from this position, so it's always a good idea to be ready for the Manhattan view on the right side a few minutes before landing. Plus, you're a lot closer there. So this is the water that all the passengers get to experience right before landing on runway 22. Very, very exciting airport, isn't it? I can't tell you how many passengers I've heard say at this point, we're going to land on the water. Well, this is the water that they're talking about, and no, the plane will not land on the water. However, an interesting fact is the fact that the first few thousand feet of runway 22 is actually on a pier that extends out over the water. So in a way, you're landing over the water, but the wheels of your plane are indeed touching down on a hard and safe runway surface. While here, I'm not limiting myself to just watching planes touch down. Way in the distance over the Bronx, we can see an aircraft turning onto the final approach course via a right-hand turn. That's exactly what we did last night. Okay, well, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I had a great time on that flight last night, and I'm enjoying watching the airplanes come in to land here on runway 22 right behind me. Remember that if you're not a subscriber to my channel, I invite you to click on the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and rest assured I'll be back with many more videos like this. Thanks, everybody.